So this is maybe the most embarrassing story I'm ever going to tell on the internet. I did this for half a school year in 6th grade at 11 years old, and man, it's one of those things I really look back on like that's so embarrassing, you know. It's me in 6th grade being a dumb little guy, but like when I look at it as like a broad trend, I can't help but find it extremely interesting, because I think that the more that, you know, as I get a little older and I think more about these things and like, you know, what it means to be a person. I feel like that's a question we end up investigating on this show even quite a bit. Like, what does it mean to be a human being? You know, especially in the modern day when everything's so crazy, when all these, you know, we're all getting replaced by robots, and we do job interviews where we send our applications to a robot to, you know, scan and give to another robot to interview us. Like in this world, I feel like it's such a prevalent question of like, what are these core things that separate us? And honestly, I think I end up coming back to hope, you know, similar to that 6th grade version of me. The idea that there is a belief that in some way, today, tomorrow, next week, next year will be better than yesterday, right? I think that is perhaps the most essential human emotion, as I have come to see it. And I think on a personal level, if you're not living in the future to some extent, if you're not thinking about tomorrow to some extent, what's gonna end up happening is like, one day, if you're living in that moment, you'll look around and realize like, man, the moment passed me by because I wasn't focused on building anything. I mean, in a like a very literal sense of building a life, like stuff like that. And you know, I believe, I have to rewatch it to say this for sure, but I think the conclusion that I came to in that paint talk was that the choice to live in the future is kind of the way we all have to be, especially in a present moment that feels as though it is in many regards failing us. Like every time you plant a vegetable, every time you you know, plant a seed of anything, you are planning for tomorrow. You know, you are going, I am going to harvest this seed. And I think the hope to be found in action as simple as that is really maybe more than anything what makes us human. I think that is a practice to be made, because I think it's the only way to stay sane, really. I mean, like, we live in a time where the majority of people feel that tomorrow will be worse than today. Like, people are very pessimistic about the future in the current moment we're in. I think we need hope to be human. And for that reason, I'm not gonna say become a futurist, but, you know, become a gardener.